Namaste. This is quick introduction on how to use Python Tutor. Open Python course page. Under course introduction, click on Python textbooks and runtimes. Under Python runtimes, you can find Python Tutor live programming button. If you click that, a pop-up will appear. In this pop-up, you can see a text box. This is where you have to write your Python code. After writing Python code, you can see how it is getting executed and you can visualize the code here in the right side. If you don't like this pop-up, then you can refer to the original Python tutor that you can find under here. Right click on this, just click on open link in new tab and you can see Python tutor original website. If you click on Python here, you can find an example in the top and you have to write the Python code and then you have to click on visualize execution. So to make these things easy, our instructor Levin Nectar created a simple website based on this Python tutor. In order to access that, just right click on Levin Nectar name and open the link in new tab. After opening that, you will find his Git repository. Just scroll down and click on one of the examples. After the clicking on example, you will see a preloaded example. Just refresh the page and you will find a fresh page. Uh, Instead of opening the course portal and clicking on the pop-up, it is better to bookmark this link. After bookmarking, you can easily access the Python tutor. The good thing about Python tutor is its live programming mode, which lets us see the execution of code step by step as we type. For example, let's start with an example code snippet. When I type a equal to 5, we can immediately see that a variable a is created and assigned the value 5. Next, if I add the line b equal to a plus 3, you will notice that b is calculated as 8 by adding 3 to the current value of a. Now let's update the value of a with the line a equal to b into 2. Here Python takes the value of b, which is 8, multiplies it by 2 and stores 16 in the variable a. Finally, when I write print a, the program outputs 16 and you can see the result in the live visualization. Now let's work with an easy example. So I have defined a calculate sum function and a list of integers and calling the function by passing the list of integers, and after that I am printing the result returned from the function. So after pasting the code, because this is a live programming mode, so whatever you write, it will be executed immediately. So now we are running the last step. So we have to click on this first button to go to the starting line. Now we can click on next line to see how the program executes line by line. Whenever you click next, the each line will be executed and you can see the output in the right side. So now the first line is creating calculate sum function in the global frame. If I click next, now the my numbers variable is pointing to a list of integers. After clicking next, we can see the result variable is calling a function calculate sum and passing the list of integers we defined before, that is my numbers. So my numbers in the calculate sum and my numbers variable both referring to the same list. If I click next again, now the total variable is initialized with the value 0. If I click next again, we can see a for loop with number variable in the numbers list is going on. So in the initial stage, number takes the first element in the list. If I click next, the total is increased by the number variable, which is having the value 1. If I click next again, the number variable is updated to the next item in the list, that is 2. If I click next again, it is adding the number variables value into the total. So if you keep doing that, after the for loop, we can see the 15 value is returned from the total variable. Now the return total value is sent to the result variable. Now the result variable is having the returned value, that is 15. Now at the end we are printing the result variable with a string and we can see that output in the print output. So this is how we use Python tutor to visualize our code. Now let's see how can we give inputs to our code in Python tutor. I have pasted a simple Python code which will take two input. length and width, and it will calculate the area of the rectangle with that length and width. Now that we can see, after pasting the code struck at the line 2. So it is giving EOF error. So it is not able to take the input. And we can see in the print output, the enter the length of the rectangle is printed. So in order to tackle this situation, just click on this arrow, and here you can give the inputs to the code. So I am giving 6 as the input. Now the length took the value 6 from the input. Now I have to click enter, and I have to give the width also a value. So if you open this, if you can enlarge this rectangle, and you can see what the things you have to give. And now it is asking enter the width of the rectangle. So width I am giving as 10. So after that, the area is calculated by multiplying this length and width, and we can finally see the final area of the rectangle here. The area of the rectangle is 60. Now let's talk about the few options available for customizing how the visualization works on Python Tutor. For beginners, the default settings are perfectly fine to start with. They provide a clean and simple view of your code's execution, making it easy to focus on learning the basics of Python without being distracted by advanced details. However, if you are curious or want to explore how Python works, internally you can change these settings to customize the visualization. For example, there is option called render all objects on heap. By default, Python Tutor shows simple variables like integers or strings directly in the stack frame for simplicity. But if you enable this option, everything will be displayed as objects on the heap. This helps if you want to understand Python's memory model more deeply, especially when dealing with references or shared objects. Another setting, show excited frames, let you decide whether or not to display functions after they have finished execution. Beginners don't usually need to worry about this. Turning it on can help you if you are debugging or trying to see what happened during a function call. And the last option, draw pointers as arrows. So if you use text labels, then it will remove the pointers. For beginners, it is advised to use the pointers as it is easy to visualize. So this is how we use Python Tutor. Thanks for watching.